It's a cold Monday morning, beautiful clear skies, but quite a cool, brisk wind because it did rain last night too. Feeling a little bit more relaxed. I'm sure that'll be short-lived, but I finished off my final assignment for the semester for uni. So great to have that done. I enrolled in next semesters at the same time once that was finished. So all that stress and anxiety I'm sure is going to come back, but it feels good to have that one done. I can focus a little bit more on schoolwork for a bit. Got a lot of reports to check. I might actually be able to get on with some of my own planning and reflecting and that sort of stuff. So with the construction course being new, I'm working through it with the kids, trying to just stay that step ahead, and it never feels that comfortable working like that, because if something comes out of left field and it's a new topic, you don't want to take it down the wrong trail. Year 11 decided they didn't like theory every lesson. That was a very short-lived thing. They weren't focusing during it. Oh damn it, traffic. I asked them, so would you prefer just to have a set theory lesson? It's just all theory. Some of them said Friday. One kid said Wednesday because that's the day he's not there. So I've decided on Fridays. They're not aware of the fact that it's both Fridays yet. They just think it's one. The prac that we've got to do isn't really that intensive at the moment. So it's probably going to be pretty important to get through the course content. So it'd be nice to work on some resources for that. I do have some resources from Region, but they're pretty dry. And I don't think mine would be that much more exciting, but just the visual impact of them, I'll have a crack at getting that together. I've been following the progress of a house build near us, trying to take progress photos that I can use as resources. Spoke with like the concreters when they were doing the first formwork and pour and that sort of thing, and saw the framing and some of the plumbing going in, the roof sheeting, windows being installed, and then with work being busier and me leaving early and arriving home later. Actually, I should say leaving later because I didn't get a chance, couldn't stop in the mornings, and arriving home later, I couldn't stop to take any photos, and the brickwork just went up. So while I was walking the dogs, I decided to head past that, and the bricklayer was there, and he saw me sort of looking at it, and he said, yeah, it's getting there. And we had a talk about how the weather's just been horrible for their build. It's really slowed it down. They actually took me in and showed me some of the stuff they've got, some of the stuff particular to our areas where like you have weep holes in between the brickwork, and he has to put in these little spaces into those that have a really fine stainless steel mesh to prevent embers from getting in there because we're in a high bushfire area. He showed me those and the way they tie into the frame and the damp course down, and he said happy to chat. I'll talk your ear off about bricklaying. Been doing it for over 20 years. Nice guy. He also showed me a section where they were doing an external windowsill with the bricks. He said the mortar mix was just a little too wet, and when they walked away from it and came back to have a look at it, it had settled a little bit wrong. And he said, so we took it all out. So just took it all out, so take the photos of the broken bricks and show the kids that not everything goes to plan, and for quality you might have to redo something. And yeah, it was good to see, and I'll be able to show the kids that. And I got a little bit more interested in the brickwork side because they've added bricklaying to the course, which I'll need to be formally trained in. I told him how I'd done some block laying, and he said that's the hardest thing to do because they're so much heavier than bricks, and there's less surface area for blocks to sit on each other, and yeah, I found that out. Just finished with year 12.
and they're doing their small saw horses. What I was trying to say last week was we had cyclic maintenance in doing, they look after all our machines and maintain them. And he got the drill press working better because this gear part at the back had been all bent and crooked, and he took that out and replaced it, greased up the whole thing, and so now I've got nicely working drill press that not as smooth running as ones in some of the other workshops, because this has just been sitting still for years. I got it installed in here a few years back. Its switch was busted at the front, he fixed that, and yeah, so now that's a good addition to the classroom. And where I've got it, you've got the saw, you can swing that out of the way if you need to, if you've got a bigger piece of timber, but it's pretty good right there now with Year 11 stuff. Making progress on outdoor work table. I've just got to attach all those pieces to the top, and I'm thinking of putting casters on it so we can move it around and then put some vices on it for outdoors. So this is a toolbox that I'm making with my construction students at the moment, made out of 15mm ply, 9mm ply and 15 by 19mm pine for the handle. And it's an exercise in measurement, assembly processes, and we'll go through the process. There's a fair bit of weight in it on its own, but I think it's a nice sturdy project. It's got good solid sides. So let's see how it's made.
Continue for 800 meters. In 400 meters, merge onto M7.
Taking the work trailer out on its official maiden voyage, registered and everything. We've had a family donate a refrigerator when they've moved to our cafe, and we thought it'd be a good idea to have a fridge in the cafe so they didn't have to keep running down to the kitchens to get the milk and that sort of things. I'm going to collect it with the trailer. I don't have any more classes scheduled for today. I've done my classes and duty this morning, and this way I can go collect it because it's down in Marylands, which is near Parramatta, so about half an hour from the school. And by going now at midday, I'll miss that possible peak hour traffic that you get in the afternoon trying to come back from that area. The total trip should be about an hour and a half.
Had Year 11 today for a double. The student who's doing their chair has gotten their two back legs turned. The one that was making this bedside table has done some traditional carving down their leg. You might just be able to see it. And the one making the desktop caddies is like a passive speaker, and it's really going well. It actually worked with the design that they did. So an update on Year 12. Working on the projects. This is our split double. It's recessed now, so they're going to be back in here to finish this. But of course all their stuff's just out, and I've been doing some marking of their folio work as we're going. And we're getting them doing all of their work placements here with our GA at the school. Just seeing them out one or two at a time, and so far we've gotten one through, two are working this week. There's another two going to be working next week, and all of the kids have agreed to do it that way, and we'll get them signed off and graduating. just leaving work. It's 10 to 6. I've been checking reports. Our new table saw and bandsaw got delivered today. And I did want to show you them before leaving, but the alarms are about to be turned on, so I've basically just got to get going. I'll show you them tomorrow. Another long day. It's now coming up to 10 to 6, so I've got to get going, get out of here. I've been checking reports again. I've got 8 classes left to go, and I'll hopefully get those done tomorrow. I was going to show you those tools in the workshop, but it's going to be too late to do that again today. So maybe sometime tomorrow. Last one to leave today. And last to the point that I've got to lock the back gate because there's no basketball here today.
Another late night. I think that's 3 in a row now, but I almost feel like this is the only way I'm going to get some of these reports and things done, because as I've said before, I get so tired in the evening. Like, I'm probably hopped up on coffee today. At least doing them here at work, I've got a time where I've got to cut off by and get out. And today was like the latest, because as I was coming out of the staff room, the cleaners called out from across the quad asking whether I was the last person up there. And I said, yes, I'm the last one. They said, are you leaving now? And I said, yep, I'm going. And they just asked that I could lock up the block. And then I said, do I need to lock up that back gate? And they said, yeah, because I didn't see anybody around in the basketball crowd that usually play basketball in the gym. It was a pretty solid 3 and a bit hours of report checking. And for me, report checking involves reading every single report written by my staff, checking for grammar and readability and conciseness, and if there's any corrections that need to be made, I will make them, and then that's it. The report is done. I don't pass it back to the staff member or anything like that, because that can just stretch the process out even further. So a real big block at this time, like reports earlier, were just 1 year group that we had to do when it came to the seniors. This point at the half-yearly reports, or the semester 1 reports, it was all of a sudden all of year 7 through to 10 and all of the life ed students. 4 classes in both year 10 and year 9, and they're the order that I'd be doing them in because they're the ones that want to get checked through first. 6 in year 8, 7 classes in year 7, 4 life ed classes, 25 classes of reports all up. Or if you took it by numbers, somewhere around 450 reports. There was a time before where my wife and I would say I should leave work earlier and drive home when I'm alert, and then if I need to do any work, do that when I get home. But lately, by the time I get home, get changed, have dinner, I feel wiped. And the last thing I want to do is go and lock myself into the study to do more work, which I've done. When I do that, I've been gone all day, and I don't really get to see my wife or the dogs because I'm locked away, and then when I get really tired I just come in and go to bed. But doing stuff like this at school, I know I've got it done. I can go home and I can actually just relax and spend that time with my wife and the dogs, even if it is like watching something on TV, having a bit of a chat, or just crashing out and relaxing, playing with the dogs a little bit, cuddling with the dogs. But I don't go home feeling like I've got to do work, and if I feel too exhausted to try and do it, end up stressing out because I'm not getting it done. There's no easy way around it. There's just so much administration required at this time of the year.
Just locking up before we go out to the long weekend. I just wanted to show you these machines we got. So finally got nice big new bandsaw. It still needs to be bolted in and connected to the electricity and everything, which we're trying to organise. A nice big 12-inch or 300mm gullet cutting capacity. It's got a nice wide blade, but it's a 7 TPI, which is not really aggressive enough for doing a lot of resawing. But really looking forward to using this because of such a large capacity compared to what we've got in the school from when it was built. And the other new machine, which is getting installed in here, is this big brand new sliding panel table saw. So once it gets all of its other parts put on it, it will be capable of cutting large sheets of plywood safely, rather than having to use the track saw. And it actually has, if we pull this back, there's the arbor for the main blade, and it's got a small blade here, which is on the leading edge to basically cut the underside of laminated boards and veneered boards and that sort of stuff, so it doesn't chip out on the bottom side. It's like a little scribing blade. Anyway, just wanted to be able to have a quick look at those before we leave for a long weekend.
Another stupidly late night. I just got out the door of the school at like 5 to 6. I still haven't finished checking all of the reports. I was halfway through a class. I think I've got another 2 to do after that one. Yeah, I do. I didn't have to worry about the gates this time though, because the community basketball group was in the school using the gym facilities, and so the middle quad of the school was full of cars from the community. Of course, they park inside the school rather than out on the street or even in the back car park. They come right into the quad next to the basketball gym. So because they were there, I didn't have to worry about the back gate. But I certainly hope that I got out of the staff room before the cleaners turned the alarm on. I think they had a feeling that I was still there again. But it's the long weekend. Monday's a public holiday, thanks to the Queen. One of the good things about still being part of the Commonwealth, I guess. Queen's birthday holiday. So that means that next week will be a short week as well. So just Tuesday through Friday. I won't do anything more with the reports tonight because I'll probably be tired by the time I get home. So I'll just do a bit on them tomorrow if I can, just so it's out of the way. And then I can enjoy the rest of the weekend. I'm really hoping for fine, non-windy weather on the weekend too, because I've got to try and put the awning back up. I was going to buy new anchors from Bunnings on the way, and they'll be shut now.